Ah, cruises, the perfect vacation, endless buffets, tropical destinations, and absolute chaos behind the scenes. Most people don't realize this, but cruise security officers have seen it all. From stowaways hiding in cabins to mystery disappearances, there's never a dull moment at sea. So today, we're diving into the wildest, strangest, and most bizarre security incidents that have ever happened on a cruise ship. Welcome back to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security channel. Trust me, by the end of this video, you might never look at cruises the same way again. Let's set sail. Let's start with a story that sounds like something out of a sitcom, but trust me, it was very real. A few years ago, a man refused to leave his cabin after a 2-week cruise ended. Staff knocked, security showed up, even the captain tried to reason with him. Security told him, "Sir, your cruise is over, it's time to go home." But he just sat there, sipping his complimentary coffee saying, "No, I live here now." Turns out, he was hoping that if he stayed long enough, the cruise line would just let him stay for free on the next sailing. Spoiler alert, that's not how cruises work. Security had to escort him off the ship, and he was permanently banned. Moral of the story? Cruise ships are not rent-free apartments. Now this next one? Pure audacity. A man snuck on board a luxury cruise, without a ticket. He blended in perfectly, dressing in a suit, dining in first-class restaurants, and even bribing crew members for access to restricted areas. For over a week, nobody noticed. He would charm his way into events, sneak into open staterooms to sleep, and when asked for his room number, he'd make one up, act offended, and storm off. Security only caught him when they noticed he was never on the passenger manifest. When confronted, he dramatically declared, "I'm a VIP guest of the captain." Security, "Sir, the captain has no idea who you are." He was escorted off at the next port, arrested for trespassing, and, yep, banned for life. Moral of the story? Confidence will get you far, but not that far. Now this one sounds like something straight out of Ocean's 11 Cruise Ship Edition. A passenger in the onboard casino won big, we're talking $300,000 at the slot machines. But here's the problem. Somebody was watching. Late that night, his entire winnings disappeared from his stateroom safe. No forced entry, no suspicious guests on CCTV, just gone. Turns out, the thief was a crew member who had been watching the high rollers all week. He had a copy of the master key and waited until the guest left his room. But here's the twist. The thief thought he was smart, but he forgot one thing. The ship has CCTV everywhere. Security matched his exact movements, found where he hid the cash, and he was caught before the ship even reached the next port. Arrested. Fired. Never allowed to work on a ship again. Moral of the story? If you're gonna commit a crime, don't do it on a floating hotel covered in security cameras. Now let's get a little spooky. This next one? Chills. A passenger vanished overnight. No trace, no witnesses, no CCTV footage of them going overboard. Just gone. Security searched the entire ship, questioning passengers, checking every hallway camera. Nothing. Their room was untouched. Their phone and passport were still inside. Here's where it gets weird. When they checked the ship's keycard system, it showed the missing passenger leaving their room at 2:30 a.m., but never coming back. The catch? Security footage never showed them walking anywhere. For 3 days, security combed the entire ship until finally, the mystery unraveled. It turns out, the passenger had been hiding inside a maintenance closet near the engine room trying to pull off a free ride to the next country. Why? Visa issues. They thought they could just lay low until the ship docked at a place where they could legally enter. Instead, they got caught, fined, and handed over to immigration authorities. Morale of the story? Cruise ships aren't great places to play hide and seek. And now, the dumbest crime on this list. A passenger got ridiculously drunk at an all-inclusive bar. Instead of going back to his room like a normal person, he tried to steal a lifeboat and drive himself back to shore. Yes, you heard that right. He climbed into a lifeboat, unbuckled some safety clips, and actually tried to lower it into the water, all while yelling that he was Captain Jack Sparrow. Security was instantly alerted because, shocker, messing with lifeboats is a massive safety violation. He was arrested as soon as the ship docked, charged with destruction of property, public intoxication, and endangering others. Oh, and the best part? His escape attempt didn't even make it halfway down. He got stuck, hanging off the side of the ship until security pulled him back up. Moral of the story, if you're gonna have a pirate fantasy, maybe don't attempt Grand Theft Lifeboat. Look, we all love a little romance at sea, but some people take it way too far. On a particularly family-friendly cruise, security received multiple complaints about a couple on their balcony. Why? Because instead of just enjoying the ocean view, they were, let's just say, putting on a live show for the other balconies. Security was called to remind them that ship balconies are not soundproof, nor are they particularly private. After the third complaint, security finally had to escort them off the ship at the next port. Morale of the story? If you're looking for privacy, maybe don't use an outdoor balcony with over 100 other rooms next to you. Most people go on cruises to relax, but one guy? He took it to the next level. Security was called when a man was spotted sleeping in the pool, every night. Apparently he figured out that if he floated just right, the warm pool water was more comfortable than his actual cabin bed. Security repeatedly asked him to stop using the pool as his personal waterbed, but every night, like clockwork, he'd return, until they finally banned him from the pool entirely. Morale of the story? A cruise ship is not your personal lazy river. This next one is pure Florida man energy. A man was caught trying to smuggle live lobsters off the ship, in his suitcase. When security stopped him, his excuse? I thought they were free. Turns out he'd been sneaking into the ship's kitchen, stealing live seafood and hiding it in his mini fridge. He actually planned to bring them home on his flight back. Fun fact, lobsters don't do well in suitcases. Needless to say, they didn't survive, and neither did his cruise privileges. He was fined and banned for life. Moral of the story? Stealing from the buffet is bad, but stealing live seafood? That's a new level of dumb. If you thought cheating at cards was just a Vegas problem, think again. On a luxury cruise, security caught a man who won tens of thousands of dollars at blackjack, but something was off. He was never losing. After reviewing security footage, they realized he was counting cards. Not illegal, but highly frowned upon. They banned him from the casino immediately, but the best part? He was so good at blending in, he just changed his clothes, got a fake mustache, and tried to re-enter the casino as his twin brother. Security saw right through it, and he was kicked off at the next port. Morale of the story? A fake mustache is not a good disguise. Most people bring souvenirs home from a cruise. This guy? He tried to bring back a live snake. He found a small exotic snake at a port, stuffed it into his luggage, and tried to smuggle it on board. But here's where it gets worse. The snake escaped in his cabin. It took 2 days before another passenger spotted it slithering down a hallway. Security was not amused, and he was banned from the cruise line forever. Moral of the story? The only thing slithering on a cruise ship should be the buffet line. Cruise ships are floating cities, which means wild things happen behind the scenes all the time. Security officers deal with some of the most bizarre situations you can imagine, and these were just a few of the craziest. What's the wildest thing you've ever seen on a cruise? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more cruise secrets, crazy stories, and behind-the-scenes insights. It costs you nothing, unless you would like to buy us a coffee. If you do, you can find the link in our channel description or by visiting buymecoffee.com/cruiseship. Those that are so kind will get a mention in one of our upcoming videos. Stay legal and stay salty, stay safe, and don't get lost at sea until next time. Happy cruising.